gonna be great.
Yeah, it's always gonna be great because we'll have to wing it.
Yeah, good practice.
So I've met you like twice now, and
Yes.
then this is now the third time.
Yeah.
So it's nice to meet you, Shawn, and I would like to say congratulate you because I remembered your name this time.
I'm so honored. That is the first milestone.
Normally it takes way longer. Yeah, normally it takes way longer for me to get someone's name.
Oh, cool. I'm glad. Yeah, that's good. I think we're well on the way to a nice beginning of a friendship.
Yeah, it works. I mean, you like Doctor Who. I mean, when we had sushi yesterday, it was great. We were like talking about everything.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I'm glad, like, Disney Plus, as much as we talk crap about Disney as they deserve, I feel like it has made it a lot more accessible. Like, because it is kind of hard to get like the BBC in America, and so I'm glad. So yeah.
I wish they had like the past seasons.
But
I'm okay with this at the same time.
Yeah, I went back. They have some, not a lot, but it would be cool if eventually, I don't know if BBC will ever allow that. I think they gotta have full stuff.
It's on Amazon now.
Yeah, true.
No, it's on Max.
Okay, is it all on Max? They have all of it.
They don't have the new stuff.
Okay, it's exclusive Disney Plus now.
Yeah, I really hate saying Max.
I do too.
It's HBO. It's HBO. It's HBO or it's HBO Max. It can't just be Max. That is the stupidest transition. They are not Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg can go from Snoop Dogg to Snoop Lion and back to Snoop Dogg. He can do that. Yep. And none of them were stupid. This is stupid.
I agree. I actually have it on my computer as not HBO Max. Like, just so it's still HBO Max and makes fun of it. But yeah, I don't know. HBO was such like it's like the same thing as like switching like Twitter to X. It's like...
I don't call it X at all. I
don't either. But it's like tweeting, like it was a noun. It was like you don't look on the internet. You Google something. Like it's the verb. It's everything. Like you send a tweet. Like to give that up, it's crazy. And HBO Max has that same thing. It's like HBO was such a recognizable brand. Like why change it? So is that like a common name too? Like Max is what is that?
Take it to the max. I don't know. Skinamax.
Oh yeah, there you
go. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, with Twitter, I was so mad when it changed. I was like, who downloaded this app? And then I found out it was Twitter. And I was like, I refuse to call it the new name. What am I going to do? Am I like, instead of tweeting, am I...
You're Xing?
And I'm like, no. But maybe Twitter should just be called Dumpster Fire. Because
it is. Oh, I heard they're getting rid of the block feature. Like the ban, like they're changing that up or whatever. So
I don't even know what that is.
Like, if you block somebody on any platform, they can't see any of your posts or anything. Like, he's going to get rid of that to some level. Like, so people can still...
TikTok's kind of like that, because I blocked somebody, but they found another account of mine that's hooked to my main one, and I had to block them again.
Jeez. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly how it works yet, because it doesn't happen, but, like, there have been talks about it. I think there's, like, whole countries that won't allow... like Twitter to exist in their space if they do that. So I don't really know. I mean, I never really know what his mindset is. Like, it's so beyond my thought process.
Did you see what he said about Taylor Swift?
Oh yeah.
That was so weird. I was like, why? For listeners, Elon Musk came out with a comment about if Taylor Swift let him impregnate her, he'd protect her from everything.
Yeah,
even Trump, because Trump said he was going to get her. It made no sense.
It's wild too. Just kind of like the series of events, because it was like there was AI tweets that came out that like Donald Trump reposted of Taylor Swift endorsing him, and because Taylor Swift has been pretty like apolitical, like she doesn't really get into politics too much, like platform wise. Everybody kind of knows she was a Democrat and stuff, but she wasn't super loud about it. And then, but because Trump repurposed or reposted those AI images, she got real mad about it. It's like, well, no, like if you're gonna do that, like I have to like openly endorse my actual candidate, which is Kamala Harris. And then and then he tweeted like, I hate Taylor Swift, which is just like the most childish thing you could do.
It was the most real thing he's ever said. I love all the comments. Everyone's like, the smallest man in the world. And it was like just her song titles. And I'm like, this is perfect. Yeah. Like, you don't mess with a Swiftie.
Yeah, exactly. They're violent. Like, I heard they do like some crazy stuff. But even like Musk kind of doing the same thing. It's just, I don't really know what their end goal is for that. It's just, you're just causing all this strife that's like, it just makes you look bad. And it's
I don't even think Elon Musk like actually tweets. He just has someone, he's like, say something weird on there for me.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, I guess this is the weirdest thing I can come up with about Taylor Swift, and I feel bad about it.
Yeah, because he like said like when that shooter guy tried to kill Trump again, or like Mar-a-Lago, he like tweeted like, how come nobody's trying to kill the Democratic presidential candidate? And it was like, you have government contracts. You can't say this stuff. And he like took it down and came up with some like apology, like sometimes jokes are funnier in person than they don't translate to like tweets. It was like a really like non-apology. I was like, it was actually probably legal what he did. I think. I don't know.
So talk a little bit about that. Like, I get when you type something out, it doesn't have like the same inflection.
Yeah,
but that's different
it is.
than this. But yeah, Twitter's just like a hot dumpster fire. I always tell people, I'm like, you don't want to find me on Twitter. You won't like what you see.
No.
It's all Raylo fanfic, and right now it's all like everything about Gojo.
Of course, of course. And that's what kind of sucks too, is Twitter has a lot of like very like useful things that like companies and people and stuff have kind of like cultivated like a culture and stuff on Twitter like for years and years now. And so like just because like Elon Musk took over and it's like ruining it, it's like, yeah, but like my business is on there, like this is how I get a hold of people, like there's like an emergency service system ran through it, and there's a lot of like really important stuff on there. And so it's like, fuck, like people like he's ruining like a good thing. I mean, I don't know how if you could call Twitter good overall, but it had good things on there.
It had a good few years,
Yeah.
and now it's used for evil.
Yeah, like it's crazy on there now too. But yeah, and like a lot of chapters.
And it's mostly porn, actually. It's mostly just porn on Twitter.
Yeah, I do know a
which
lot
is
of like
hilarious.
Yeah, because they don't censor stuff quite at the same level as a lot of their platforms and stuff. I know some people that like make spicy content that they like post a lot on their Twitter and stuff. Like, I know it's pretty. I don't know. Reddit does that too. You could just do it on Reddit. Like, I like Reddit. It's not like better. I just like it more. Like,
no, I follow like this cosplayer, and he was talking about like he had his new cosplay on Twitter, and so like I followed the link, and I was like, "Oh, you're naked. Oh, you're having sex with someone. Oh my god, I don't want to see this."
Wow, that is a bold move.
I was
here's
just
all
like,
my business. You like?
I was just like, no,
Dang.
unfollow, take it back.
I mean, I've had somebody that did that too. They like it was a buddy that or a new buddy that like sent me a like his like gamer tag. And so he's like, "Oh yeah, just look up my social medias and stuff." And so like I put the gamer tag in there, and he had like an Instagram and all the different stuff and everything. But like he had like a Reddit and an OnlyFans and like all this other stuff that was like very inappropriate, like very naked and stuff. I was like, I like this all shows up when I put your gamer tag in here. Like you definitely knew I would see all this. And I was like, that is it's bold moves. It's a power play, I guess, but like
just laying it all out there, I guess.
Yeah. But, yeah.
No, I try to be careful with all that stuff. I'm like, I turn off like all my notifications now, so it's only my fault if I go on to something.
Right.
But then I'm like, oh, I missed like 15 messages.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, if they know me, they'll know like just to text me and I'll see it sooner. But everything else, I'm like, it's not worth it. Like I don't go on Facebook, and I hate it when people message me on it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I have like
no.
a group of nerd people that I talk to like on Facebook Messenger. Almost, I guess there's a number of people. Like even like I talk to some of our cosplay buddies and stuff just on Facebook, just because it's like the first social media. Usually, whatever social media I add you on first, that's where we're gonna talk on. So I have like different people that I talk to on different platforms and stuff, which is a lot to keep up with, honestly. Like I dread checking my Instagram.
I like Facebook because it has like some high school friends. But I love that feeling when I graduated high school. I just deleted so many people. I'm like, nice. I don't have to deal with you anymore. But it's like, because there's some groups that you're just like, shit, I can't talk to anybody unless it's on here. So like, again, cosplay groups and stuff. So I go on there a lot. And then like, you can also stalk cosplayers on there. You're like, how do I know you? Where have I seen you before? What's happening in this chat? Where's the fire? I want to hear what's going on.
Yeah. Keeping up on some of the drama. That's it. Yeah.
So I do that like maybe once every 2 weeks. I go check, and I'm like, what's the issues right now? What's happening? What's the gossip?
Yeah, I don't have too many like crazy people on Facebook. Like kind of the same thing. I have like old high school friends and stuff. Nobody uses it too much. Just like kid pictures and stuff. But yeah, I could definitely do without it all the same.
I was gonna say what I used it for and like what group, but I know you're gonna make fun of me.
I will know.
Because you guys were making fun of me last night for it, but it was for like my Jewish summer camp.
Oh yeah, your Magneto origin story.
Yes, my Magneto origin story of me at summer camp.
Which is still so crazy. The things that you talked about, like doing, like I mean, I have absolutely no frame of reference for.
No, I honestly I thought it was a joke. Like, my
Yeah.
dad was telling me about it, and I'm like, why have you never sent me here in my entire life? Why did you make me go to church camp? And
Right.
I got in trouble every time I was there,
Mm-hmm.
and they made me sit out of the group because I would ask questions,
Right.
and they knew I was Jewish.
Okay. That's rough. That's a rough position to be
It
in.
was
To be.
because, like, apparently it was too far away, the Jewish camp was. Like, it was a
Oh, okay.
longer drive. And he's like, we didn't want to pick you up from there or take you there, so we just did this.
So you get like in this like ostracized in the with the Christians or whatever because they don't want to drive an
Oh,
extra however long.
oh yeah, they put me with the horses all the time, like just to hang out with the horses and like pet them.
I mean
Because
that's
like
cool.
I couldn't sit in the group,
I mean,
but
horses
I
are
do
probably
not
better
like
company.
riding horses. It's terrifying. It's too much
Oh,
power.
okay,
I'm
gotcha.
really short, so like it's a big fall.
Oh, yes, it is, right?
So at Jewish camp, there's no horses. I made sure of that when I went, and they're like, "Is it true that you thought your dad was kidding?" I'm like, "Yes, this is weird. Like, you drive into a suburb, and then you turn a corner, and there's just a giant ass camp. Like it's its it's its own world. Everyone
Wow.
there is Jewish. You have to automatically assume everyone there is Jewish, and
Okay.
I've never been around that many Jewish people in my life.
So was it like cool to kind of have that contrast between like the previous church experience to like your own kind of group of people?
It made me appreciate being Jewish more.
Okay.
And I learned a lot. I did not like eating kosher
Oh yeah, I imagine
because they
that's
have two
difficult.
kitchens, two utensils, two different things. Nothing can touch.
Mm-hmm.
That's dairy or meat.
Okay.
Um, but like that was rough. And then this was like the weirdest thing. So Saturday night Friday night to Saturday night. As soon as you see the stars in the sky is
Mm-hmm.
Havdalah, which is
Havdalah.
like it's kind of like it's like their church, you
Okay.
know. So
Okay.
like Sundays for Christian
Right.
people. So like
Okay.
Saturday is the day for Jewish people, but it
Okay.
starts Friday night to Saturday night. You can't start anything new. So you can't you can't tie your shoes because that's starting a new tie.
What?
Yeah, it's kind of like that. You have to dress nicely too on Friday night to go to dinner.
Okay.
And it's just like eating at the mess hall. So I had to like bring dresses, and I was like, I don't wear dresses. Like that's not something I
Right.
do.
Right.
Because when I was in high school, I'm like, no, I do this stuff. I don't like dresses.
Right.
But I had to like get a whole bunch before I went, and I had to get a shawl because you have to cover your shoulders because
Okay.
God cannot see them.
Yeah, it's a big point of sin. That's where it gets in at or something.
Well, it's kind of like that's why they cover their like base of their head, whatever.
Okay, that I have heard of. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm still kind of stuck on the shoelace thing. So like, how enforced is that? Like, if it comes untied, you're just kind of screwed for till
They don't really like it when you start new stuff. I don't know. We would make friendship bracelets, but they're like, don't do that on like Friday.
Okay, because it's making something new. Okay.
Yeah, because you're creating something, and yeah, so it's kind of like creating something. So you're not supposed to do something new, and then you do like synagogue, but it's like outside, and you're pointing towards wherever like Israel is.
Okay.
Because that's the Mecca, like that's the homeland. So you point towards there from wherever, and that's like what you sing towards.
Okay.
And everyone does photos every Friday night, and then you go to the mess hall and you eat, but you sit in like your tables or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But you sing, and then they bless the bread, the
Right.
challah,
Right.
and
Right.
the challah all has to touch. All of the challah has to touch. Like everyone has to lift up the big thing of bread that's at each table and like touch it to the other ones.
Okay. Okay. Kind of like a cheer thing.
I guess. And normally you're supposed to drink red wine, but because everyone's underage, they drink prune juice.
Okay. Same thing, just different form, right?
Hate that. That is the most disgusting thing I've ever had. And I've never like wanted to die. Like my stomach, I felt like all of it shriveled up inside of me, and I was just like, kill me. Roll me down into the lake.
It's a rough drink for kids, I imagine. I don't think I ever liked prune
I
juice as a
wasn't
kid
I was
either.
like, we were all teenagers.
Okay,
because we were like camp
If you're not
counselors and
exposed
training.
to it, yeah.
Yeah. So we had our own like we had our own like kids to take care of.
Right.
Because we were training to be camp counselors, I guess.
Okay.
And I was like, cool. This is weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, they had that. They were super weird. I mean, like when I told you guys, like we wrestled in chocolate sauce, which was super weird and funny.
Where in the Jewish scripture does like chocolate sauce wrestling fall into? Like, is there a chapter or like how does that?
It was because our counselors, because we
Right.
had like 3 of them, they were messing. They were like playing a joke on us. Essentially, they're like, "Oh
Okay.
yeah, when we were like training to be camp counselors, we did a Willy Wonka day, and it was like all of this stuff, and we had like chocolate sauce that we could play in or like wrestle in or whatever." And everyone's like, "We really want to wrestle in like chocolate sauce. Like, is it actually slippery?" And it was just
Okay.
nobody could get off that point, and so they're just like, "Are you guys? We're kidding." And then they were like, "You promised us."
Yeah.
So they did
Yikes.
it, and I think they regretted it
Right.
immediately.
They're like, we
Because
way over our heads.
well, there was more girls than boys like
Okay.
in this like group,
Okay.
and immediately I remember soon I did like 2 rounds. And we were like first because I'm like I just wanted it over with.
Mm.
I booked it back to the showers because I knew that it was gonna fuck up everything.
Yeah. How do you try to sauce out of like
Well,
anything?
because like you wanted your clothes to get clean and like it wasn't laundry day or something.
Right.
I did one laundry day the whole like 2 months I was there.
So it's like, if you had done that like on a Friday, would you just be stuck in chocolate clothes until afterwards? You can't change your clothes, or like,
No, like we did it at night.
yeah.
Um, I don't know. I just remember I like jumped in the shower fully clothed and then I like took everything off to
Right.
like wash it. But I could hear the girls coming and I'm like, there's 4 showers.
Oh, dang. Everybody's.
Nobody wants to wait a turn. So they were all hopping in together and I was like, no.
Uh,
I'm clean. I don't want to get dirty again. But what they were doing were like doing full body like prints on the walls and
oh,
shower
nice,
curtains.
nice.
But the thing is, nobody was cleaning it off. It was there for
They're
like
just goofing
weeks.
off.
So we just had chocolate like everywhere, and it looked like shit.
Yeah. Well, yeah, yeah. God, yeah, that
And the
sounds so just above your age range for like what you should
yeah,
be doing.
yeah, I know. We did weird stuff like on the last night too. They let us like do whatever we wanted, so we got to streak
Okay.
across the field, so that was funny. And they like protected the girls. They had the girls off to a different area to do it, and then they let us skinny dip, which
Okay.
I did not want to do at all.
Did you have to, or was it like a peer pressure thing? Like,
It was like a group thing. Like all the girls were doing it together, and I'm like, yeah, like fine. So what I did is I just like hopped in, then hopped out.
okay.
The only reason I didn't want to do it is because the girls were talking about shitting in the lake.
Oh God, what is with? So they're smearing chalk on the walls, they're shitting in the lake. God, these are
Those
some
girls were like obsessed with taking shits. I don't know what is wrong with them. They had a poop chart
too much
in
fiber. Something.
yeah. Well, they had like a poop chart in the bathroom, and
Okay.
one girl like I was worried about her. It was like
Uh,
off the paper. I was like, "You take too much. Like, what is wrong with you?" And she's like, "Just living my best life."
I guess. I mean,
But yeah, like and they were doing jokes in like the water and stuff, and I'm like, no, everyone's like peeing or something in this lake. I don't want to be in it, and I'm naked. Like,
yeah.
no.
Like, there's nothing even
So
protecting you. Like, take infections.
yeah, like the camp counselor like laughed at me, and she's like, it's probably a good choice. And I'm like, yeah. I climbed down the stairs, I went into the lake, I got out, and we're good.
Yeah,
That's
that's weird.
all I wanted to do. The guys were way smarter. What they did is they just went around the campus and they flipped everything upside down.
okay.
Like everything. They went into like one of the rec rooms and they turned everything upside down. They're trying to put stuff on the ceiling.
Nice, nice.
And then some of the girls thought it would be really funny to get their mattresses
Mm-hmm.
and put it where like morning announcements and like prayers were. So like
Right.
everyone had to come out in a circle in like they had Israel man, which now I'm thinking about it, is super weird.
I mean,
It's someone he has a cape that's the flag of Israel.
I get the thought. Yeah.
Yeah, so they would do like the Pledge of Allegiance for America, the one for Israel, and like the one for Canada, because like
Okay.
they have a lot of Canadians there. And the girls were just chilling out in the center because they slept out there that night.
Right.
And I've never seen like the owner of the camp so mad. He was just like,
oh no.
because the girls just chilled out. They were just like,
Yeah.
you're doing your Pledge of Allegiance, and we're in the center.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
and they were like
like,
messing with the zip line as well. It was super funny.
geez, yeah, give kids some freedom and they will ruin everything.
Well, and then we were like hungry, and so some people went to the cafeteria that night to get food. And it's
Right.
probably like midnight at that point or almost 1, and they're still letting us do whatever. And the girl came back, and I've never seen someone white. Like so white. She came back and she was just like, it's a cult meeting in there.
Oh no.
And so we went and looked, and she's like, they're just all the camp counselors are like doing something. They have candles and they're wearing robes. And I knew it was like probably to mess with us.
Oh, okay,
But
okay.
they're like, Jenny, join us, join us. And she's
Oh
just like
no,
ran away because she was so scared.
gonna get sacrificed.
Yeah, it was weird. It was like the weirdest time of my entire life.
That sounds it's incredibly unhinged. Like they
Yes.
had all kinds of rules for you, and then on the last day they're like, just break all of them.
Well, they did a lot of stuff. Like we did like a cooking, like a group cooking thing, and like one
Okay.
time we had to like close our eyes and hold the person's shoulder in front of us
Mm-hmm.
because we went to do a movie night and we watched Wet Hot American Summer because apparently that is a Jewish movie.
I
That
had no
that's about a
idea.
Jewish summer camp.
Okay.
And it's on Netflix. They have a before and they have an after.
Okay.
Super weird, super inappropriate. The original movie has Bradley Cooper in it, and it has like all of these A-list stars.
He's Jewish? I didn't even know.
Well, like in the movie, like you just assume everyone's Jewish.
Okay. Okay.
I just remember the movie was so slow and boring. I fell asleep right away.
Right.
This is a habit of mine. Like I did as a kid, I would just fall asleep anytime a movie started.
Makes
And we were
sense.
laying down. I woke up and everyone started singing happy birthday to me. And I was like, what is going
Aww.
on? No, it wasn't my birthday. I'm in
No,
the
I
car.
love messing with people fall asleep like that. Yeah, it's always hilarious.
I was so confused, but I was really mad. I was like, who are you talking about?
It's you. It's your birthday.
And I
You've
was
been
just
asleep
like,
for a long time.
I'm like, I'm going back to bed. I just like rolled over.
That's funny.
But yeah, it was weird. I thought the weirdest part was like they made me cook in the cooking like event.
Okay.
I can't cook. I
Oh,
can't.
okay. Not a skill set.
I don't even like. I couldn't. Not to even save my life. I could not do it.
Dang.
Yeah, I'd probably like blow. I've caught ramen on fire.
Caught Robin on fire?
Yes.
Oh, ramen. Oh, okay.
Ramen. Sorry.
You know, I've
I
actually
have a
done that
cold.
too. I've done that too, actually. I forgot to put the water in, and I just put it in the microwave. It was like when I used to cook it in the
Oh,
microwave.
I was doing it on the stove.
Okay, that's a whole different thing.
My dog. I've never seen my dog take off so fast. He was just gone, and I was
He's
just
like,
like,
nope.
well, the fire alarms didn't go off, and I thought that was funny. I found out later
Okay.
there was no batteries in any of them.
Oh no, you're just living for the moment, right? Just
Yeah, I was in high school. Like my
no
parents, I
safety.
asked my parents, I'm like, what happened? They're like, it goes off all the time whenever we cook. We're pissed at it, so we took him out.
Okay,
I'm
that's
like,
safe.
sure, we'll die, but it's fine.
Sure, yeah. You're gonna go. It's fine.
Yeah. No,
That's
it's
wild.
weird. I like whenever I think about it, I'm like, oh yeah, we did this too, or we did this,
Mhm.
and I'm like, never again,
Mm-mm.
never.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, I'll have to show you pictures next time. I have like really weird ones, like where we graffitied or like went up Mount Rainier or something.
Yeah, definitely. I thought like I went to Air Force basic training, and I thought that was crazy, but I think Jewish camp might have us beat.
And they're really they're like they did not know what a ferry boat was, and they lived in Seattle
Interesting.
because they were that rich.
Oh, they just were in a whole different tax bracket. Didn't even.
Yeah, they're like, what's a ferry boat? Like, where does it go? What
the
is
common folk used to get around.
Well, I don't think they like left their private schools before, and I was just like, what is wrong with all of
That's
you?
crazy. So you had some like bougie people there.
Oh yeah, they had like Hermes sunglasses and stuff, and I'm just
Right.
like, we're at summer camp. That's gonna get ruined.
So like reinforcing the rich Jewish money stereotype.
Well, apparently Jewish camp is very expensive.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I got a scholarship to go because my parents were like, fuck, we're not paying that money.
Well, that's good they offer scholarships, I guess. But
I know. I think they thought it was funny. My dad went when he was a kid, so they're like, oh, we know you.
you have a great time. You'll do some crazy shit and roll around in chocolate.
I guess so. When I told my dad about it, he's like, what? I'm like, we're not going to talk about it anymore.
Even he was like, that's weird even by my standard. Like,
yeah, he's like, I don't think we did that when I went there. And I'm like, no, that was like a million years ago when you went.
they even have chocolate in a bottle back then?
I don't even know if they like knew the invention of chocolate.
Yeah, right.
They're like, what is this? Okay, let's talk about what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
So listeners, sorry for all of that and that long tangent, but you know what? You're used to it by now. It's me.
And I learned a lot, which is good.
Yeah. Now everyone has to, and they're gonna be like, is she okay? Is she in a cult?
You'd be like, comment down below if you went to Jewish camp and have a cool story.
Yeah, like tell me if you went to Jewish camp. Please don't do any jokes. I've heard every single one of them.
Yeah, I bet.
You were talking to the girl that when in high school they threw pennies at her in one class.
Oh no.
No, I didn't see it as a bad thing. I was just like, okay.
Like free penny. Like
yeah, I was like money. Like I got like $18.
That's a lot.
Yeah,
That's a
it was
lot of
nuts. And my
pennies.
friend's like, "That's not good." And I'm like, "Yeah, now that I think about it, yeah, it wasn't good, but like I didn't see it as a bad thing, so
Yeah,
we're
my lunch
good."
was paid for like a month. Like,
Yeah, we're good. But today
yeah.
we are talking about JJK. We're talking about Jujutsu Kaisen, and because today this is coming out on Monday, the day after the final official chapters come out of the series.
It's
And
Gojover.
yeah, it's actually Gojover. It's a goddamn shame.
Ah.
We're here with Shawn today. Shawn, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hey, yeah, I've been reading manga forever since I knew how to read. I feel like I've been hanging out in Borders, Barnes and Nobles, is what we call.
You could have just stopped at Borders. We know.
Yeah,
We
okay.
know.
But just sitting on the floor reading manga since as long as I can remember, anime just as long. Like I remember watching like Tanami and all that and everything. I've been reading Jujutsu Kaisen since it came out back in 2018. I think was when it first started releasing. And yeah, huge fan. Still love it. I mean, kind of use a really good example earlier, comparing it to like Game of Thrones and kind of getting that season 8 ending. And I definitely think that's a really good example of it because it feels that way. And
The other comparison that I think is very good, that it hurts me deeply, like to the marrow of my bones, my
okay.
soul, is the Voltron thing.
Oh, okay. That is a
It's
good
got
one.
it's getting the same thing, but like I couldn't say that like they weren't getting death threats because Giga probably was.
Oh, I'm sure he can't. The fandom is so nuts. I'm sure he's got to have some sort of way of protecting himself from that.
He's on my list with JJ Abrams. Like again, if I met JJ Abrams, I'm gonna spit in his face, and Giga's gonna be the same.
I mean, you've seen like his little cartoon is like the one-eyed cat. Like
Yeah.
I've seen like so many memes of, like the hand like strangling him and stuff. Like
Have you
I've
seen
seen
the
some.
one with like I'll have to send you the artist that they had like Gojo like beat him up, and so
Oh
he's
yeah,
like Gojo's then drawing like the new panels, and he's like, I fixed myself.
nice, nice. And I
Yeah.
hear Gagey like he hates Gojo. I remember he's come out with
Yes.
a couple like SBSs and stuff because he did not like him as a character. He was kind of upset that everybody like was such a big fan of him. So like I feel like the writing was on the wall. All the Gojo. I'm a huge Gojo fan, but there's like all the hardcore copium Gojo fans. Like he
Yeah.
wasn't gonna survive this
I'm
series.
worried. I'm worried for them all. But no, so just as a frame of reference, everybody, there will be spoilers.
Oh yeah,
I'm
well
gonna
yeah.
get mad. So it's gonna happen. There already is spoilers of us saying it's Gojo over, so like just get
I mean
freaking used
that's
to
like
it.
that was so long ago. I mean, unless you're just like the spoiler is that he really didn't come back. You know, he died so long ago.
Yeah, he
Like
died like a year ago this month.
yeah, yeah. But unless you count, his brief resurrection. But
I was so upset. Okay, wait.
we're gonna have ourselves.
Yeah. So you started reading JJK since it came out.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the anime?
The anime is amazing. I think it's one of the few animes. I'm probably gonna get a little off track a little bit. That like it has stayed consistently good. I think the studio's awesome. I mean, I kind of know they got some bad press, like for Worked and stuff, and that sucks. And that's like, yeah, like, and that I know that guy like tweeted out that like
That was Twitter. They were all like they all wanted to die. Like they all wanted to kill themselves when they were doing season 2.
yeah, which like it sucks. And I'll try and like I could really go on a tangent about like proper work environments and paying your employees. But if you just want to talk about the quality of the anime, it is very
That's
good.
like, but I heard that's a common thing in Japan. Like
Mm-hmm.
if you've ever seen the anime Zom 100 and
Yeah,
how
yeah,
his like business works, they're like that's exactly it. That's what's happening.
yeah, yeah. I've been a huge One Piece fan. Like Oda Sensei like talks about like he gets like 2 to 4 hours of sleep a night, and just
That's
like
his choice.
a little bit. And I don't know if it's, but I think that is kind of like the mangaku like lifestyle. Is there's just so much like even talking about like Hunter x Hunter and stuff, and kind of it's like cursed release schedule of just like
Oh,
this
he
severe
doesn't have
back
any
pain.
assistants too.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it's pride. I think they take a lot of
Yeah.
pride in their work, and that's good. But like when you're like 6 back surgeries in, you're like, just let somebody else draw for you. Like we don't care. Like I
Yeah,
don't
like
get a
just
little off
finish
track.
it.
Yeah, but yeah, no, I think the anime's been amazing. Just as far as like the actual like end product and stuff, it has been awesome. I love the voice actors. I think so many of them have just been awesome. Like Mihito, like his voice actor, like English and Japanese. Like I'm a sucker for like the loud, screaming, desperate like voices, and he nails it. And like the key moments, it's just like that like blood curdling, like just like getting angry. I think he did so good on it. So yeah, the enemies was awesome.
I actually started watching some of the English because I'm rewatching some of it because I like the key points, like the fights in season 2. Because I love season 2 way much, like so much better than season 1
Yeah.
because of Hidden Inventory. I watched that all in English.
Okay.
I loved it. I love that Toji just comes out with a gun. He's like,
Oh.
and I'm just like, what if we could have beat Sukuna this way?
Yeah. Special technique gun. Yeah. Like,
but I didn't like his voice that much. I feel like it could have been deeper. Like it should have been very deeper because he looks like the kind of guy. But I also love that the animators are obsessed with him.
Yeah, he's got like 90,000 abs. Like,
well, the thing is, like, they didn't need to do the opening that way,
right?
And it looks like as if someone's laying down on the ground and he's walking above them. And I'm like, they wanted to be stepped on. Like,
there's a very specific corner of the fandom that was for. Like, it's the same thing as when like Nanami is like got what's his name by the hair, and he's just yelling.
They did it differently because like before he just grabbed like the dude right here.
Yeah.
But in the show they grabbed the ponytail, and we're just like,
yes,
please, like, just what if I do this? Like, we're ready, right?
There's a number of friends of mine that like that haven't watched, that aren't caught up or whatever. Like, I show them just that scene. Just to like, that's like my scene of like, watch this. This is all you needed if you're gonna take anything away from this, and it works for so many people. Like,
it's the best. I remember it happened, and I was like, I'm wearing Nanami right now.
Oh, nice.
But I did Emerald City this year, and I got stopped so much. I was cosplaying Nanami to like pull hair.
Yeah, actually,
I found one male.
Oh, go ahead. Oh, yeah, I've actually cosplayed Nanami too, and it's same thing. There's quite a few pictures on Instagrams of me holding people. It's a thing.
We found one Nanami, like male Nanami, and he like got us, and he did like 2. He was doing 2 at a time because there were so many people like lined up.
That's so funny.
But yeah, after that con, I was like, okay, I can't do Nanami anymore. I'm like, I need to do something else.
Yeah, you have to really be into that kind of thing. Like.
Oh, I wasn't worried about that. I just like had worn it. I'm like, okay, that was like the best time I've ever cosplayed him. I'm never gonna beat it.
Okay, so you're like, perfect experience, no notes, we're done.
Nope, we're done.
Gotcha.
No, and then, but like Gega loved Nanami and he loved Toji. Like those were his favorite characters. And I know the series was actually supposed to be about Yuta.
Yeah, originally, yeah.
Yeah, but he hates Gojo. I don't understand. I don't get it. Like Gojo is such a unique character, and there's never been one like him before.
Right.
Like, yes, we've had white-haired characters, white-haired teachers.
Yeah, every anime does,
and they're hot, and everyone loves them, and like, and like as soon as we saw him, we're like, oh, he's hot, he's amazing, look how tall he is, and then
he's cocky as hell, and he backs it up, you know.
Yeah, and then you see his eyes, and then you're just like, it's like the Ark of the Covenant when everybody melts, and they see it, and that's how it is. Because I still remember watching with my friend, because I didn't start reading it when it came out. I actually didn't start watching it when it came out. Okay. I had a friend that was just like, are you reading it? I'm like, yeah, I like just started like reading it because this really terrible person actually gave me really good manga recommendations. Yeah. Which sucked because I'm like, you're a really awful person, and I can't believe you like told me about these good
clock's right twice a day, right?
I guess. But yeah, so like I read it and I was like, this is really good. I have a lot of questions, but I'm like, this is good. And my friend's like, let's watch it. So we did the like in lockdown, the Zoom thing, and watching it together. And I recorded her being like, look at this white-haired man. Look at this daddy. And she was just like screaming. I'm like, we have to rewind it.
It came here over it. Yeah, he did a good job building this character and kind of fitting all those key points of character building that people really latch onto. Because I know he gets compared to Kakashi a lot.
Powerpuff Girls. He just put stuff in and then he's like, oh, what have I made?
Yeah. But, you know, he just have to... Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I just can't believe he hates him. Like, why?
I don't know either. Like, I don't even remember him going super in detail on why maybe he has. But, like, I get he's kind of like a Mary Sue. I think that he kind of becomes, like, he's like the measuring stick of the whole series, which is kind of like, I mean, he wrote the series, he made it this way, but even like throughout the whole Sukuna fight, like every single character was compared to Gojo. So and so has as much curse spear as Gojo. So and so can heal as good as Gojo. You know, everybody, like, he is the measuring stick, and so I think maybe he just wanted him to be like more of like a MacGuffin rather than like a character himself. You know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's clear now. I mean, he didn't come back. He didn't get a funeral. He didn't get like anything more than flashbacks. You know, I don't know if we're getting ahead of ourselves, but like, I think he like really had a niche message he wanted to send with Gojo, and that was it. You know.
Like Lotor from Voltron all over
Yeah.
again. We never get to see his freaking ending.
Let's open that wound up again.
Like, I'm just like pissed. So who's your favorite character in the series overall? Like top, your ride or die. This is who you will die for.
I think it's definitely, and this is what I always tell people too. I like a lot of characters, but if I have to pick a favorite, it's Toto. I think Toto is just like, he's so much fun. Every time he's on screen, he's just like, it's just like, nobody has more like high energy. Like his ability is hilarious and funny. It's like simple and complicated. His personality is just ridiculous. Buddy's incredibly competent, and he's just like, he has that natural. I feel like I can picture him in real life. Just that natural chemistry of just like, as soon as he shows up, everybody's just like, yes, it's time. Like, I think he does a really good job. Like, and he's my favorite. I'm kind of bummed out that he wasn't even in the last chapter. Like when they were like showing like the different characters paired off with each other and stuff, he wasn't even there, which is kind of lame.
Oh, yeah, they didn't show the upperclassmen.
Yeah.
They didn't show the other school. What
they
the
didn't
hell?
do a lot of things, but yeah, they didn't show Toto.
He was just like, finish it. Just I don't care how it ends. Just finish it. I'm done. I don't want to look at it again.
Yeah, I like how like if Gojo had told people like, hey, like Toto's gonna be in the last fight against Sukuna, what do you think like he's gonna do to fix the boogie woogie? And you could have given people 1,000, 10,000 guesses, and nobody would ever guess what we got. The fucking slap box, like with metal bits. Like nobody would have ever came to that conclusion. Like that was so unique. Like the price, like they sell them on Amazon, and like it was trending on Amazon Market. Like people were buying them. Like the vibro slap. That's what they were. The vibro slap.
And he's such an underrated character because in Jujutsu Kaisen 0, he defeats all of those curses.
Yeah. And he's like mad about it.
Never talk about it again.
Yeah. He's so powerful. I think he's also like, I feel like every character like above him has kind of like that like plot armor. Like I have some special talent. I'm like a chosen one. Like they all have kind of unique like, you know, family power. Like Toto just out here with slapping his hands together. Like he has no like heritage. He has no lineage or any sort of like special like hacks or anything. It's just him clapping cheeks and beating ass. Like that's just all he does, and he's so good at it. Like,
I mean, he's obsessed with an idol, but yes, that's pretty much it.
Yeah. And I like what they did when they added. Because I don't think in the manga they did it, but in the anime when they had that whole like Sailor Moon kind of transformation moment when he's fighting Mihito, like there was like really like goofy and over the top, like when he was posing with her and stuff. Like I thought.
I kind of want to say it was, but now I don't remember.
It might be. I don't remember, but I loved how they did it in the anime. It was so over the top. It was so ridiculous. I heard they had a really young, like a new kid, or like it was like a really young little kid that animated his like All Might Rainbow attack thing. Was done like a little kid, which really was pretty cool. Like so, yeah, he's just awesome character. Like I have no complaints about him. He was so awesome.
Literally now to the part of spoilers. Okay. I wrote first, what the fuck is Gega doing? Like that was my note, because there's so many plot holes. Like as we were talking the other night, there are too many things. Why does when Yuji fights someone that like when he is in, like he's going to die?
Yeah.
And that was like against Toto first, and Toto now is like, oh, we have this whole history. We went to high school together. We're best friends. We're best friendos.
Yeah. Yeah, and I thought that like because it seems like there are so many like possibilities that like maybe things that would make sense if he just did it, you know.
Well, there's like a lot of hidden stuff in there, like signs, kind of like Game of Thrones. We saw this stuff building up, like,
Yeah.
oh, these like hints and stuff,
Hmm.
these clues are going to lead to this or this or this or this. Same with JJK. We got like a brief thing of like Toji's past, which I would kill to know about Megan's mom. I would hurt people to find out.
Yeah.
Same with Itadori. Because, like, who knows? Maybe Kenjaku just, like, switches bodies all the time.
Mhm.
Because everyone jokes. They're like, Itadori's dad is so hot that, like,
Yeah, I
Kenjaku
love
was like,
the
you know
fact
what?
he's
I
taking
gotta make
back
a baby
shots
with
from
this
his
man.
dad. Yeah.
Yeah. And, like, he gives us, like, so much happiness in these really small moments. And then he's like, oh, joke's on you, bitch.
Yeah. And it sucks because, like, I think a good example I heard was just like, you can do all the most like amazing tricks ever, like that are so impressive and incredible. And that's what the series has been. But like, you have to stick the landing. Like, nothing can, like, all you're going to be remembered for is this terrible ending. Like, if you like, no matter how great the series was, and it was an incredible series, you know, like we were talking about all the things that didn't make sense and stuff. Like, there were
It
just
was
so
really
many.
good if you didn't do this, like, the Culling Games was confusing.
Yeah.
It was really hard to follow, and it was like, okay, why does this matter? But as soon as like that arc kind of is over and Gojo comes back, like he's unsealed,
Yeah.
if you don't read anymore, the series could stay good.
Right. Right.
My rating of it was like super high.
Mhm.
It is down to like a 5.5 or a 6.
Yeah, I feel like that's a good point. I didn't think about it really before, but like it did feel like the Cullen games really like it had a lot going on, and like he had that whole thing with like the Americans, like that thing he set up with them, and
Yeah,
like
and they still have like curse users that they have to get back. What
yeah,
happens with that?
exactly. They like Remy, I think yeah, Remy was kidnapped, the little scorpion haired chick, um,
Well,
and that,
and then they have like the whole during the Culling Games, they brought back these curses that from the past, so they're alive
right.
again.
Yeah, because it was like each one of those curses had like throughout his past, you know, in body jumping, he like made deals with them. And then there were two kinds of people that like when the cold games start off, there were people that were basically vessels like Yuji is that like everybody that made a deal with him in the past got put into those people's bodies. So it was like coma victims, like all these different people and stuff. Like they were getting shoved in there, and then they were basically being transformed into their prime selves, and like they had all the memories of like them of like the person they took over, so they like knew how modern things worked and stuff, I guess. And then the other type of people were people that were converted, like they were given innate abilities, so they were then transferred. I know it was so convoluted because that was like the big thing with Kenjaku was like um was how do you fix cursed spirits, and the only two options were to get rid of cursed spirits complete, or was to get rid of Jujutsu sorcerers completely. So there's like not enough cursed spirits, but like non-Jitsu sorcerers, there's normal humans, they leak curse energy naturally, and so that's where curses come from. And so like his ultimate plan was to make everybody a sorcerer essentially, so that then they were able to optimize their curse energy, so then curses wouldn't exist anymore.
Yeah,
And
that's what Geto wanted to do. I know that. I don't know what Kenjaku was just like, I'm fucking around. I'm like making babies with everybody, and I don't know what I want to do.
I
But
mean,
I'm also gonna be nice about my son Itadori and like save his like high school friends.
well, I feel like he had a pretty big character shift because he was like a pretty like standard villain. He had a big master plan. There was all this looming monster with the
But what's
merger.
the plan?
Well,
What was the plan? And
well,
like, what
when
was with Itadori? What was his plan with making a baby and having Itadori? And then I don't get like the humanity part. He saved Itadori's friends, like
right,
friends from like in the beginning of the series that are humans.
yeah,
Carried them out of the Culling Game area so they'd be safe.
right,
Had like slight moments like looking at Itadori being like, my boy.
yeah,
And then nothing.
yeah.
Nothing.
I think that like what I think was going for, and I don't feel like he stuck the landing, but like he's over the years, like you've seen like 1,000 shonen mangas like Naruto, Bleach, and everything and stuff, and like Chekhov's gun, where if they introduce something, it has to pay off. Like Gege is very much about like the deconstructedness of it. He wanted to, it's a deconstructed shonen manga, so like it's supposed to kind of not pay off. Like that's kind of like the weird, like it's like reverse hero's journey kind of thing. And like I don't think it worked, but I think he was trying to kind of be like, I'm gonna have this big narrative, all this big stuff, and like he's like basically just subverting everybody's expectations, which never works. I feel like, you know.
I mean, it could have worked if the ending was different.
Yeah.
Like, I could have accepted anything with the Coen games if this was different. And I'm not saying, like, everybody lives happily ever. I'm like, kill everybody off. Make it only be Yuji left alive. If that's what you want to be. Like, ruin the Jujutsu, like, school.
Yeah.
Or, you know, like, have Itadori be left with that, like, that scar. Because this is, after, like, Shibuya is the start of Itadori losing his smile. He's not going to be this happy-go-lucky kid again. But technically, in the end, it's like immediately flipped back to that. And it's like, no, he lost his like friends, his mentors, the people who have like cared about him and he cared about very deeply. And he lost his brother, which is horrendous.
And they just overlooked that.
Had this great build of character art, and he got that girlfriend, Toto's like teacher, which was amazing. And she's like, your life as a curse is over now. Yeah. You get to live like a human life, and I can't wait to see what you're gonna do with it.
Right.
And then he's like, I gotta live, because like that's what she wanted. And everyone's like, sad boy misses his girlfriend, and then he dies.
Yeah.
He gets burned to death. And and like he doesn't even get to hear his little brother finally call him Big Brother.
Right.
And what about all of his other like test tube siblings, like in their little?
Well, I think it was implied that Yuji ate them all, because they like
disgusting.
Yeah, he like threw it a comment that like all of them were like were inside of him, and that was like part of Yuji's power up. That's how he was able to use like the blood techniques and stuff.
The other question is, what was the technique that like switched them into each other's body to learn whatever?
Oh, that was it was Yu, the little kid with the teleportation technique. Like
the weird little incest kid, yeah,
the incest kid. That he was able to switch place people. Like the explanation is a little wonky, but it was basically like they do a lot of like metaphors and an explanation with how the soul works and the body, and like he's able to just switch places with switch like move teleportation, and that he can do basically his teleportation technique with any combination of soul body. So like he can basically let them switch souls with people.
Where was he for Gojo?
He was. Oh yeah.
Again, like I know the fandom is like, yes, we're upset about Gojo dying, and sorry fans listening, if anyone listens to this, but I've never seen people more outraged that like, yes, Gojo's dead, but Mei lived.
Right, and I'm a hardcore Mei hater. I think she's dumb.
Like at first I thought she was kind of cool, and then like the whole thing with her brother was like a little weird, and then in season 2 when you see her like in the bed, like in the manga, when I saw her, I was like, what?
She's like you can stay in the bed with me. Like it's just the implications alone are just
and it looks like they're both naked, so I was just like,
yeah, they literally like had sex.
Is that the only reason you did it?
Like, oh, you can sleep here. Yeah.
Did he pay her?
I don't know. And I mean, like, Japan has a lot. I'm not going to pretend I can unravel all of the weird sister-brother complexes of Japan's, history. I've seen lots. I'm sure you've seen lots of anime and manga. They have that weird little sister complex and stuff. I can't pretend to understand it. It's pretty weird.
We can try, but we can't ignore hentai, okay? It's just there. Yeah, it's part of it. It's stupid. We understand. And I know people are probably yelling, you've probably seen it. And it's like, yeah, shut up. Yeah, we know. But this is not that podcast.
Yeah, it's not that. Yeah, that's the after party podcast.
Yeah, but like, again, we're still not going to be like up for Mei fucking her little brother.
Yeah, there's got to be a line somewhere. Like, we got to put it somewhere.
Kill her. Take her.
And it's like, and she has a very cool design. Like, I think she looks pretty cool. Her axe is cool. I kind of liked her ability that was like, she has like a shit ability, and she like basically like convinces crows to commit suicide to make it strong enough to compete. Like, I'm fine with her like money grubbing, but like, you're right. Like, I think it's upsetting just the little amount of work that she did, and then to still have her shoot in like the second to last chapter with the new shadow style and that really weird plot point to add at the very end.
4 pages of ass.
Yeah,
and
like
everyone's like, you know what, like, if they want to talk about this in like JJK 2, that would be really cool. And
Which
like
is, it's
see
a
the
perfect plot
battle.
point for the sequel. Yeah, like it would be so
Yeah,
good.
but we're not gonna get that because now JJK now like Giga's like nah.
That's my copium. I'm just like, he's got to have something else. Like, I get if he needs a break. Like, I'm still holding out hope. Probably wrong, but like, it's just
Here's my idea.
okay.
JJK 2. You see, like you get a couple pages. You see the sorcerers or whatever, like living their life, doing whatever. Meme's like money, money, money because
Yeah,
her little brother is going to be the next head of the
Mhm.
Shadow Style or whatever. But she's like raking in the cash because Gojo Clan's like fighting with whoever's left.
Right.
And like honestly, Megami's probably the richest person because he has
Yeah.
all of the Zenin Clan money and he has Gojo's because he was Gojo's kid.
Right. Yeah,
So
dude,
we're
yeah.
all like, he's got nobody to share it with. But so it has all of that, and then it'll go to like a battlefield where the battlefield of like where they fought Sukuna.
Okay.
Gojo's body.
They just left it there.
They just left it there because apparently they're assholes. Kind of are. But like he opens his eyes, but he's a curse, and like it just cuts. That would be a great ending to this show. Actually, if he didn't want to do a continuation and he ended it like that, like Gojo woke up as a curse, I'd be so happy.
Yeah, and because that's another plot point they added that kind of reinforces your idea. Because they have who's the night Naoa or whatever they're like the sexist guy that Maki fought that like he died.
That guy sucked.
Yeah,
but and like came back as a vagina.
Yeah, he came back as a vagina because he hates women. But like that like sets up that precedence that he like died. And pretty much, like, I don't remember the exact timeline, but pretty soon after he died, he came back as a cursed spirit. And I know, like, I don't know.
He had so much hate, and he was mad that Maki's mom killed him. Like, finished really him off. He's like, this is bullshit.
I don't know if you're, like, super into, like, how, like, all of Jujutsu Kaisen is, like, it's all symbolic for Buddhism. And, like, they have, like, the South and North.
Mm-hmm.
And, like,
well, yeah, they talk about that at the end, too, with Sukuna.
With
and he
Sukuna,
goes
and
north.
So, yeah, and that was, like, Gojo's big thing was that, like, he was going to travel south so that he wouldn't be reincarnated. And that was like the big thing. It's like he was at peace. And I think that's like, it sucks because like, I think there's a really good like message there. And I think he kind of dropped the ball on it. Because like in the last chapter, you know, when he's talking to Yuji about like, let's just let go of Gojo. Get over Gojo. I'm so tired of me being the big king. Like, I know I'm amazing, but like you guys can be better. Like, I'm not really trying to be the strongest, you know, Jujutsu sorcerer, even though I am. Like, I'm trying to cultivate the next era that's going to be better than me. And I kind of like that's cool. You know, that kind of makes, you know, it kind of elevates Gojo beyond just the badass
but
character.
That was a bullshit way to pull it up because he's been talking about that since the beginning with like Yuta and like Itadori and Megami. Itadori, I feel like can't be on the same level. He just punches, and I'm like, I love you, little idiot, but like, sit down.
The left, right, good night.
I can see Megami doing it. I can see Yuta being the one doing it. But they fucked up in the fight with Sukuna. What did they do? What did they do? They put the strongest, like the follow-up next generation, like the strongest sorcerer, Yuta's brain in Gojo's body. What the frick? And what did he do? What did he actually do? Did he wear him down? No. Did he land a critical hit? No. He just scared the shit out of him for a moment.
Yep. Yeah, and I was talking to somebody else about that. Is like, I think his... like we were just talking about it was like this really neat setup because like Yuta had that big speech about when he was brought up the idea. He's like, Gojo became a monster to be able to protect all of us, and none of you guys are willing to go to the length that he goes through. Like I am,
like to take care of him.
Yeah, but like to then have him go through that, like Yuta just taking it too far. That's like what I got out of it was just like Yuta was so set on like I will. Gojo can't go through this alone. He died and everything. I'm gonna take a spot, and he really had no idea how like the burden of being a six eye user and everything, and the difficulty. But like it would have been, I think, good and kind of ties into Gojo's message of people superseding him and rising above. Is like actually have Yuji like I don't know how to do it or how you would have gone about it, but have him be able to utilize Gojo's power set in a brand new way that Gojo never thought of, even if it didn't ultimately beat Sukuna. You know, because they had the whole thing where he like made his domain expansion really, really small. That like that was his like trick to like countering Sukuna's domain expansion and stuff. And it was just like everything he did was like it was just Gojo stuff but worse. And it was like I really think he should have came up with something new. Like I don't even care if it's just like a new hollow that like he somehow combined hollow in a different combination that made some new something to just kind of be like I'm better, in some way. But all he really ended up doing was when the domain expansion shattered and he fell. It's like all the domain shards were all over the place, and Toto was using them for the boogie woogie. Was like the biggest contribution he gave, and it's sad. I think it really kind of let down that whole. I don't get the point of it. It kind of went against his whole message for what he was setting up between like Yuji understanding Gojo better than everybody else, or Yuta, and like yeah.
I have so much to say. I'm so excited.
No, you're good.
If you think about the battle, how many people did Sukuna actually kill? He killed that one guy that came back as a curse with like the blue hair with the pigtails.
Oh yeah, the Thunder God guy.
Yeah.
well, he killed himself.
That was like immediately. It's just like boom.
I actually love that. My favorite thing ever was that like Gege doesn't like animate like fine details too much, and he was alive thousands of years ago, right, hundreds of years ago, and so he came back. He has memories. The motherfucker had Air Force Ones on. So like there's a panel of him like in the normal Japanese shoes, like while they're watching Gojo's fight, it shows his feet. And then but when he shows up to fight Sukuna at the beginning, he has Air Force Ones on. And like this motherfucker like put his shoes on. Like I don't know why that's so funny to me. They had these fucking bomb ass like basketball kicks on. But he kind of just I like that. I like how he was just like, my turn now. I'm gonna do this.
Immediately dead though.
And just immediately gets fucked
barely
over.
A chapter. But
Which
like,
I do think
he killed him. He killed Gojo.
Yeah.
He killed Chozo, but like that was like a side effect.
Yep. Yeah.
Which they said even later, they're like, oh, we could have gotten him in Itadori, but like we didn't.
Yeah, he's like, sorry, I can't remember. I think he did give some excuse why he didn't, but he couldn't or whatever.
Yeah, so he killed like 3 people, and then like slightly Yuta by inadvertently.
I mean, really, all he did was ultimately, since Yuta got back in his body, was he just gave Yuta a cool scar on his forehead by forcing him to, like, that's kind of it, like.
That was so stupid. That was so stupid. That was the stupidest thing ever. I was so mad because like they're like, we gotta go save Yuta, and I'm like, yeah, because like, are you gonna put his did you save his brain to put back in his body?
Yeah, that made no sense.
But they didn't. They just said Rika like protected it, but is Rika still there? Is she gone?
I imagine she is, but I mean, I think that
about it.
I think the joke
her going crazy, and I'm like, that would be so cool. Her fighting Sukuna. What if she's the reason?
Yeah, and even like how like he calls her like the Queen of Curses. I was like, ooh, what is that gonna go nowhere? Like
fucking bullshit. Nothing. It's just everything's useless. Like all of these cool things we could have done. It's like, ooh, I'm gonna grab like any of these weapons to attack. I'm actually just gonna grab this pen.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm gonna write something else.
Yeah,
I'm gonna write
such
you suck. Or like, what about Imaki? Like, wouldn't he just come out and be like, shit yourself to death or something?
I mean, I think he did a pretty okay job with that, because they did actually make a point to explain that Inamaki can only have one instance of his ability in play at once. And so, like, when they recorded his voice, it was basically like he can't ever use his cursed speech again until that recording is played, and there can only be one recording. And then they kind of played that, like, if they had used it too early, the backlash would have killed him. And so, like, they had to use it in the exact way that they did.
Like, he didn't even fight. Like, they had so many people.
He gave up his arm.
Yeah, and then he has his arm back.
So that's what's interesting is that, like, they said that, like, they see, like, that's what's really weird. And I'll get back to that point. But, like, it's weird how he will hyper fixate on very specific things about his world and then gloss over other things. Because he was literally like, oh, like, Yuta is like, yes, it depends on how much I eat of somebody's their arm or their body to get their technique. I can make curse, I can make vows to, like, use them a certain number of times, like, do all these things and stuff. And, like, and then they can, if they heal their arm or they heal their whatever he ate, he loses their ability. And so, like, that was basically implied that the reason Inamaki didn't get his arm back up till the fight was that because Yuta had eaten it. And so he had to leave the arm off so that he could use the cursed speech. But then in the last chapter, the first panel, it showed Inamaki with both arms. So, like, I think that implies that now after the fight is that he healed his arm back, and that's why they didn't originally.
Who came up with that? Oh, you have to eat something of someone else. You have to do cannibalism. Did, like, Yuta just, like, put it out and be like,
I mean, Yuta's been kissing demons and shit since the beginning. So,
He's probably doing something else with Rika because like she just
oh yeah,
stayed with him. That was sad when she was crying over his body, and I'm like,
oh, it
but when he
was.
fell, I'm like, okay, there's like two options. One, he dies.
Yeah.
Two, he's stuck there forever, like they said. They give you these options of what's gonna happen, and then they completely like, oh, never mind.
And then
It doesn't matter.
and that's
We need to save him. Oh, actually, he's fine. Like, I don't know if he actually has a brain in there. Then I'm like, what about Gojo? Like, you guys just used him. You don't act like he's a person.
right. And I think it really sucks because I was so sure when Yuta took over Gojo's body, it reminded me of back when it was first revealed when Gojo first found out that Kenjaku has brought back Geto in the body and it was him. Like, and they had that moment when Gojo like looked at him and he's like, "Are you just gonna let him use your body like that?" And his hand like trips up and chokes him. I was like, that was it. That's the thing. Like Yuta's gonna fall and Gojo's gonna his like spirit's gonna take over and he's gonna fight and he's like, I was so sure. I was so
because
sure
like
even
that
if it
was
was
also the whole
temporary.
theme. That was also the theme too about like soul and body. Like what is it?
What
Is it in the
constitutes
brain?
it?
Is
Yeah.
it in the body? Because like that was whole Mahito's thing. Because he could change your body because of your soul.
Right. Yeah, that was like when he fought Nanami, like way back in season 1. He's like, what comes first, the soul or the body? And like that little like like there was definitely all the groundwork was laid out for
In
all these different
Junpei.
things.
In
What was that?
Junpei. Junpei.
Oh yeah.
Or June Payne, as we refer to him. The biggest lie in JJK, other than it being good, is that Junpei is going to join them in the first season.
Yeah.
Just because you see him in the opening credits. Also, how devastating is the ending credit from the first season now?
Oh yeah. Like, oh, it hurts. It hurts
Lost
so
in
much.
Paradise. I'm just so angry. I'm just like, you had something so unique, so amazing. Like, who would come up with this? And then you're just like,
Yeah,
whatever.
and he's shown so much talent. It's like he just like pointed it in all the wrong directions in the last. Because I remember like even if like at the end like when if they had ended it like with Sukuna becoming a puddle on the ground like 3 chapters ago or whatever it was, like that would have been a better ending. Like no after story, no epilogue, just Sukuna died and they just cut to his conversation with Mahito in the afterlife. Like that would have
been good.
That would have been better because then at least I could have like thought up. I could have came up with like all this like after stuff instead of just getting this. And now I know it's bad. You know, like I know there was some old lady fucking curse sealing the New Shadow style for some reason.
It was 5 chapters of ass. It was ass. If I had to look at somebody's ass, it'd probably be more entertaining than the 5 chapters.
It didn't even show any.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sucks. And I hope that like I know they do like I don't know if he's gonna do like interviews or he's gonna do like SBS stuff. Like,
well, he kept it. Like, he's keeping his like identity very private,
which is common, which is smart
for him. Yes.
Yeah.
But no, I'm loving all the Twitter reactions since like the leaks came out and they're like, this can't be it, right?
Yeah.
Because like I saw something that was like a fake leak and I was like, that would be cool if that happened. Like it's Yuta and he's like, oh, I'm fine now. But then like he's walking with Maki and then he stabs her because it's Kenjaku.
Oh, that's another big thing that I think has caused a lot of issues with Takuba, the comedian guy. How he's like walking with like Geto or
he thought death was a joke, so he's alive.
Yeah, like they're just because I really thought in the last chapter when they showed the guy with the big eyes and everything, he's like, oh, it's somebody from the Calling Games, some sorcerer must be doing this. Like I was like, oh, like this is gonna lead into like Takuba like used his comedian power to bring back Kenjaku, so he had a comedy partner, and now like there's like shit happening. Like I thought that's where that was going. No, it's not. There's just you don't get anything. You don't ever get the explanation of what Takuba was doing. Like, I think that almost infuriates me the most is just like, I was all for the Takuba fight. Like, I thought that was hilarious. I thought it like opened up Kenjaku's character a lot.
Like Kenjaku, like with the American flag bandana and sunglasses, or like him as a nurse. But like if they took Kenjaku out of Geto, I thought like maybe Geto, because we talked about like the because they say the brain isn't the soul. What
Right.
if he came back?
Yeah.
Why can't Gojo? Why can't he? Twitter is like burning. It's like the number one thing trending right now. And people are like showing like a girl like being carried in a stretcher and they're like, what happened to her? They're like, she believed in a man. And it was like Gojo saying, nah, I'd win. And I'm wearing my earrings that have Gojo that says, nah, I'd win. And that
Oh,
is my
nice.
favorite line from that
Yep. Yep.
from the series.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, I hate everyone. I'm never gonna believe a man again. Oh,
That's why
you'd
you're
win?
safe.
You're lying. Because if he couldn't do it, no one else could. Or like people are like pointing a gun up at the sun because
Yeah.
they're like, there can only be one sun, and that's Gojo. I'll send you the meme. It's like great.
Yeah. Yeah,
Well,
people are fucking ridiculous. I do love like the meme culture after something ends. I think it's so fun. Every Game of Thrones or House of Dragons season, I just love the memes that they come from it. They're so funny. Like,
I just thought of my favorite meme from the JJK leaks. Every
yeah.
time like it was coming out, someone would post it, and it showed like a computer, like the keyboard or whatever, and someone put a gun down, and they put a vibrator down, and like meds off to the side. They're like, this night is ending one way or the other. Gojo better be back, and I'm like, you know what? That is the
That's
most
a move.
accurate thing I've
Yeah.
ever seen. Because who knows? Like if we had that, I'm like, you know what? If he comes back, let's see what happens. Like, it'll be a great day. It'll be a great night. Like, let's go. Think about all the babies that would have been conceived
Oh, man.
if Gojo had, like, lived. All these girls would be going out being like, I gotta sleep with somebody. It's great. I'm gonna call this baby Gojo. It's gonna be amazing.
Yeah, they're gonna name them Gojo. That's the funniest part. I can't wait for 18 years from now when like people are just Gojo. Like I've seen what's the Queen of Dragons from Game of Thrones? Daenerys. Like I've met people that name their baby Daenerys. And
she was great. She was amazing. She could have gone really far, but this is not a Game of Thrones podcast. I can't talk about it. I am so scarred from that. It took me years before I watched the sequel, and I don't like it.
You don't like it? I think it's pretty
slow.
Good.
It's slow. She doesn't do anything. I'm like, kill somebody. Take a dragon out. That's me.
Yeah.
I'll burn everybody down.
I'm a pretty big fan of like the Dance of Dragons and stuff from like the books and everything. And like it's definitely one of those things that like it works like in a book where it's like a political drama, you're reading it, like you don't need to like kind of have the drama ramped up quite as much as like, you know, multi-million-dollar episodes on not HBO. Like I yeah, that's the whole thing. But like it like I like it. I'm enjoying it. I think they did a phenomenal work with the dragons. I think they look incredible. I know we're getting really off topic.
The dragons look cool.
Yeah.
I like the one lady that was like gonna die in childbirth. They're like, we can save either they both die or we can like cut the baby out of her and like see if the baby lives.
Right.
And she's like, fuck you guys. Goes out to the beach to her dragon. She's like, kill me. Kill me. And then I'm like, that was a boss move. I was like, stunned. I was like, that's amazing. But you can't do that. Like the amount of fanfic now. Because I was already reading some before like the end came out, and it was like Yuji went to the battlefield because he just couldn't leave Gojo there, and Gojo woke up and he's like, "Why have you done this to me?" Because he blamed Yuji for like because he cared about him so much, and so like he said in JJK 0, love is the most twisted curse of all. So Gojo comes back, and he's got like the 6 eyes, he's got like all the arms like Sukuna and stuff, and he's like fucked up, and everyone shows up and they're like, this is the apocalypse, right? Because we couldn't beat him when he was human. How can we beat him now? And it's just, I feel like, you know, Gojo, like there's so much more that we could have seen, not just like with his potential, because he kind of like had everything, but I wanted to see his like fight bigger. Like it was amazing already, like with all the scars, and he was healing it like in real time. But with Sukuna, I thought he could go farther. I am the person that like votes for the villain to go farther. Like I watched Jessica Jones and the guy that's in it, the purple guy, David Tennant.
Yeah.
I thought he could be like take over the world. Like I'm like, you could just amplify this. You could do so much more. And it would be cool. I do love that show. Yeah, like it could have been so like it could have been even cooler. But I actually felt like, you know what? At the point I was like, just have Sukuna kill everybody. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Let's let him do the merger. Let's see what happens.
That's another big plot point is that, like, the merger didn't. Well, I mean, we talked about how it didn't go anywhere, but like Kenjaku like gave it to Sukuna. He like had it in his hand, and he's like, "Oh,
And they
if
just
I'm gonna lose, I can trigger it." And he just did it. Like they
well,
didn't
and
explain.
then at the end they just like don't talk about it. They're like, oh, it's
Yeah.
just we put like Sukuna's remains with it or whatever, and
Mhm.
like it's fine for now. We'll worry about it another time. And I'm like,
Yeah, I
no,
gotta
this
like
has
yeah,
been a big thing.
yeah, like what's his name? The principal guy or the head of the Jitsu world.
That old man with the
Gaku,
guitar.
yeah, Gaku Gandhi was like, yeah, that's a problem. Like, I'm old, I'm gonna die soon. That's a problem for the young cats to figure out. Because that's another huge plot hole. Is like Tengen's dead. They like put his body where the bears are, and because like I don't know, you know how the big thing is that like pretty much all curse energy and curse spirit is for the most part localized to Japan because that's where curse energy comes from. And like Tengen's whole existence was making barriers to keep it there. And like now that he's dead, like those barriers aren't gonna last very much longer. Like there's like that was like such a huge plot point to also not pay off. Like,
Well, it's like
but
also something from hidden inventory because he didn't like the star plasma
yeah,
vessel. Like they didn't merge, and they're like, well, there'll be like another one, and he'll be fine. But when we got to him with like Chozo and the girl, and was it Toto was also there?
I think so.
There's three people watching Tengen like to protect him,
Yeah,
and he's like, well, I'm deformed now.
right.
He's like,
Yeah.
he's like, he's like, even I don't know what's gonna happen. He's like, so we'll see what happens. I
I
guess
mean,
if I continue like this, because he's like, I don't really have humanity right now.
right. He just maintained the barriers. Well, yeah, and like I get that like that was like part of Kenjaku's whole plan was merging Tengen with the merger. And like I don't know, I feel like I've watched a lot of YouTube videos explaining the calling games and the merger, and I still don't know if I completely
Thank
agree.
you.
Like
Thank
I get that like you know he needed like I remember there because there was a point like he had to have so many like players generating enough curse energy, and then like it wasn't enough people dying, so like he made that's why he worked with the Americas to like have all the soldiers come in and stuff, but like that didn't really get paid off and like having a little part where like the American like government stole jujutsu sorcerers, so like they weren't even in. So like, and I'm pretty sure Sukuna needed all of the calling game players to trigger the merger. Like that was something that I think was kind of a gray area. Was like he had to have all of them. That was like the whole point of it. And so like they really implied like he was like if he died he would trigger the merger. But like he like nobody like they even introduced the guy they introduced in the very last chapter, the bug-eyed guy that like didn't help. He's like said that he was super powerful, but he didn't help fight Sukuna because his mom said no. Like so like Sukuna wasn't anywhere near triggering the merger. He never could have. He would have to like go to America and get Remy back and then like find this dude at his mom's house and it was such a good ramp up and I just don't understand like how he just didn't like he just let it all fall apart like that. He could have done like one line. He could have said like Yuji like his soul punches have like utterly destroyed the fucking merger thing like in the domain expansion. He's like he destroyed it, now I can't use it. Like he could have gave something like some sort of plot wavy explanation why he couldn't carry out Kenjaku's plan at a certain, something. And we didn't get any of that. There's no explanation. Like, we don't even know if the calling game's over yet. Like,
Yeah, exactly. Because there's like all that stuff that like all these like things that needed to be met to make it, and then like, can anybody even go back to that area now? Because it's like
yeah.
so fucked up. And I actually kind of wanted Sukuna to stay in Itadori.
Right.
I
Yeah,
kind of
because he set it up quite a bit. He's like, come on, get back in my body, leave emo boy alone, and come. Hey, I'll take care of you and bear the burden and everything. Like,
he was cool. Like, okay, Megami as Sukuna was cool. People were
no,
like,
yeah,
what if Gojo was Sukuna because he'd have white marks?
yeah.
I'm like, that'd be insane too. There's all these other things. Like, there's so much. Like, I'm gonna be reading fan fiction forever.
Yeah. I think there's like a lot of like because this, he had the last finger was around and stuff. So like, I think it's
He's
just
flipping everybody off in the end.
he flipped off the whole fandom. Like that's all that
Have
was.
you seen that TikTok where the guy's like, Gega and like Sukuna, like they end it, and he opens like the box, and it's just like this. He's like flipping off the entire fandom. I'm like, is Gege like hating us so much about Gojo that he's like, I hate you. I brought him back like you wanted, but that's not how you wanted him back with Yuta in his body. So fuck you. I'm ruining the series. I'm gonna kill us both. Like it's just like suicide bomber. Like pull the plug.
So it's funny you say that because like I wouldn't initially think that like that like a mangaka who made a story like that would think like that. But his last little blurb on the last page was like, "Thank you for 6 years and stuff. Make sure you buy the last 2 volumes. They're releasing on December 25th." I don't know if that makes a big deal to you, but like, don't buy it. He's not releasing on December 24th, so you can buy it as a gift for somebody. He says, no, buy it for yourself on Christmas. Like, I don't know like how to explain that exactly, but that definitely feels like a big fuck you. Like, it's like, I'm not like, just buy my series on Christmas for yourself. Like, feels very like, maybe he did just hate it. Like, I mean, it's not
Yeah,
unheard
maybe he
of.
was just, I don't know, like some people who become like, they get like, they become like, they hit stardom like so differently,
Yeah.
and they're like, I hate this. Like the kid
Yeah.
Joffrey from Game of Thrones, again, we're using
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
He
We're
became
back
such a
together.
big star, but he couldn't like get anything else without being a villain because people were like, no, you're that kid. Like, I don't want
Yeah.
to fuck with you. I don't want to talk with you. And he quit. He quit acting because he's like,
Yeah.
I don't want to do this anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder if Giga is like even going to do anything next after this because he's like, I fucking hate this. This is not what I wanted when I started this.
I think it's definitely going to be interesting to see because it seems unlikely that he will not make a new something. Like I think odds are that it won't be Jujutsu Kaisen. He'll probably make another story. Most mangakus like have other stories. Like everybody does. And so like, is he just done writing though? Like if he does make something else, like how is like the anime community at large gonna like react to him being like, oh, check out my like slice of life, high school, like no man, make more Jujutsu Kaisen. Like,
Well, the success rate for manga artists like mangakas
yeah,
to get serialized is so, the margin is so small, especially for Viz Media like Shonen Jump.
yeah,
Because Shonen Jump will do like, oh, we'll have like a contest, we'll pick these ones, and then they'll run for like up to this chapter, and then if they don't hit like a certain number, they're like, you're out. And
yeah,
that's so many series. Like even the Kishimoto for Naruto.
yeah.
He did Naruto. He never took a vacation, not till it was over.
Mm-hmm.
And he always wanted to write a sports
Yeah.
manga, and he never did it. It never went anywhere. And
Mm-hmm.
so he did Samurai 7 or like 7 Samurai.
Yeah, which actually was really good. I mean, I think where you're going with that is like it got canceled. Like
Yeah,
I don't know
it
if you
got
went red.
canceled. It only ran for a little bit, but it actually got published at least.
Yeah,
And it actually has physical volumes. And one of his assistants is the one that asked him, like, hey, can I have your permission to write a sequel to Naruto? And he's like, yeah, whatever, I don't care.
yeah.
But then Kishimoto comes in because I don't like Boruto.
Yeah.
I've never wanted to punch a child in the throat so bad because Naruto was my first anime. It was my first
Right.
manga. It was like my gateway drug. I get like crazy eye when I talk about it. Like I love it. I've been able to bring down the crazy to like this amount, so it's not too bad.
Yeah.
But I held a box cutter to somebody. Like I was like this at them, and I'm like, take it back that Naruto, because they said Naruto was worse than Boruto, and I'm like, and he's like, Boruto's like so much better. I'm like, no, it's not. The artwork is shit. It has more fillers than anything.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing people like, which they, again, another meme, is someone going from the bottom step to like the 20th step just to get to the when Boruto goes in the past to meet his dad.
Right.
And like that's it. My favorite moment that I've ever seen from Boruto, the only good thing from it was when Sasuke's daughter Sarada tells her dad, because he's trying to connect with her.
Yeah.
And she's like, Dad, you're really annoying. I was like, I have wished for this my entire life. I am so happy. And I was so mad with Boruto. Like just I knew it wasn't gonna, like, I knew people were gonna like it. And people were like, you love Naruto, why wouldn't you like this? Why wouldn't you want to know about the kids? I'm like, because for the kids to have obstacles, their parents have to be, like, fucked over and dead.
Which is how, I don't know if I've been keeping up with the manga pretty religiously.
Oh, yeah, they were going to kill them off. They were going to kill off Sasuke, Naruto, Hinata. They were going to kill them all off. And they were going to do it, and then Kishimoto came in, and they fired his assistant that was running it.
Okay.
He's not on the project anymore. And Kishimoto's like, it's too far gone. I have to kill somebody. And he killed Kumara, and I cried my eyes out. And that's Nine-Tailed Fox. But now you just find out in Boruto, because Boruto Blue Vortex is like a dumb name for a sequel.
It is really weird.
It's a dumb name, but I guess they're like, we're not going to do Shippuden because, like, why?
Yeah.
But meeting Naruto's daughter, Himawari.
Yeah, he's reborn in her. Yeah.
And he works better in women. Like, that's one of the things. He's like, I'm always stronger when I'm in a female of the Uzumaki clan. It's just a thing. And I'm like, yeah, because it's the hair.
Right.
It has to be the hair. And I love that. I love that she is that. That is my favorite thing.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, he's back. He's back. And I'm so happy.
And he's like
I
cute
love
and
him.
chibi and everything. Yeah, it's pretty adorable.
Yeah. I mean, but I don't like that, like, Naruto has a terrible haircut.
Yeah. All their adult looks like they did Gaara so dirty.
Oh my god,
they did
that
him so
man was
dirty.
beautiful before. What did they do? Remember
Comb over.
And then they did the tuning exams in the Boruto movie. I remember I went to go see that in theaters with my friends, from the beginning, and the theater was packed. Everyone was bitching out loud about the tuning exams. They're like, they're playing fucking like Capture the Flag.
Oh, okay.
People died in like the other one. Like, remember Gaara just killed somebody, and that was on the news here, like a local news thing, the PNW, because a kid died trying to reenact what Gaara did.
Right, I've heard of that. Yeah.
That was when I was in middle school. That was crazy.
Oh,
but
good times.
Yeah, right? Like, but so many people died in the tuning exam, in the forest of death, and now, like, they don't go in it. I'm like, okay, now you're baby proofing, but, like, fine. But there's no actual consequences here, and I don't want them, because Naruto is such a great story of someone who is so looked down upon. And is treated like shit. And he could have been a villain. Like, that is one of the biggest things. Yeah. But he isn't. He rises to the occasion, and he's like, I want to be a hero to everyone. I want to be the leader. I want people to respect me. There's not a lot of manga where the main character is like, I want people to respect me, and I want to earn their respect. Right. Then you have Boruto that is handed everything and cheats. And I just, like, want to backhand the shit out of it. And I love Sarda. Like, if they made a sequel series and it was just about her in this village, and it was just called Sarda, I would pay you so much money. I love that kid. And the reason I'm talking about this is because we're talking about Gege, like, being like a fuck you at the end. Kishimoto kind of did that with Naruto the Scarlet Spring, because he was hating how everyone was shitting on, like, Sasuke and Sakura ending up together and having a daughter. And they're like, well, the girl has glasses. She must be Karen's. And so he did the Scarlet Spring, which is its own volume, and it's amazing. And they're like, why would she be Karen's daughter? Just because she has glasses. Probably every single Uchiha in history needed glasses because they all have eye problems. Like, if Itachi just wore glasses at the end, he probably could see, you know? But they're too prideful. Like, that was a big thing. Like, their pride got in the way of everything. So why would they want to wear glasses? Right.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and, like, Sakura is probably one of the strongest characters. Like, she can kick ass. She could be Hokage if she wanted, but she's like, I don't care about that. I'd rather work as a doctor and save more people.
Yeah.
So it's like that, but it's different. And I'm so angry about Gojo dying. I'm sorry.
I know, yeah.
I'm mad about Chozo dying. I'm still mad about Toji and Nanami. Nanami didn't deserve that, but at least he got such a good ending. Like, him in his mind thinking he's, like, on vacation at the beach.
That's another thing the anime did so well. I love that contrast they had. That's, I think, what Gege does. If you like the best you can hope for about your favorite characters is that they die in a cool way, which kind of reinforces your idea that, like, it would have been a better ending if pretty much everybody died, but it, like, died in cool ways.
Yeah, it would have been cool. Like, you saved the world, but all the Jujutsu sorcerers died.
Yeah. Which, like, could have, like, circled back to, like, Gojo, like, those original two options of, like, making everybody a Jujutsu sorcerer or getting rid of all of them. If, like, in a roundabout way, Kenjaku trying to make everybody a curse user ends up killing all of the curse users. Like, that could have been a nice little, you know, Buddha ending, you know, to kind of basically be like, well, everybody's dead, but, like, now all the curses are gone, you know.
And I want to know more about Kenjaku as well. Like, what was his first body? Like, where did he start? How did it go with Chozo's mom? Like, what happened?
Pretty much anything about the Hindu era, the era the Sukuna was around in. Like, anything from that would have been awesome.
Oh,
there was so much
a sequel just back then. That would be so cool. Yeah. Now I do have another question for you that's really important. So at the end, when Sukuna is talking to Mahito, because Mahito was like, I'm the troublesome child that's waiting.
Right.
It shows the south and north, right? The north and south. And his, like, assistant or whatever is the one with the white hair.
Yeah.
and he's like staying with them, like again another child relationship. I don't know what's happening. I don't
Yeah.
want to know. But who was the girl with the dark hair?
And see, that's like another, like, we were talking about, like, that's like a perfect setup to like some kind of spin-off thing, because like that's like any like good writer, like that's exactly what that means. Because like it's implied that like when he went with his estate, he could either be reborn as a human or reborn as a cursed spirit. Either he holds on to his hatred and like goes the path he's been on and stuff. But he, like, it's implying that like he went the other way to be reborn as a human and live a peaceful life, which means that that other one is, that's the person that made Sukuna into Sukuna. Like that's
But
the,
who are they?
that's, and I
Is
think
it
it's like,
Kenjaku? Was it him? Is he the one that started
is it just
this?
the original Kenjaku? Yeah.
But then if Sukuna's gonna be like reborn, right? What if it's Itadori's like son or grandson and he has twins? Because
Right.
that's how it started. Because Itadori's dad technically was the
Yeah.
reincarnation of Sukuna's twin that he ate.
I kind of think if I had to pick somebody that's like been introduced or like been established, like that hat, because the only real backstory we got from Sukuna was that, like, you know, like I said, he ate his brother in his womb, like his mom like starved to death. It's like that had to be his mom. Like
Maybe.
I'm assuming that's who that was. That was Sukuna's mom, and then like
Okay.
going down the path of like vengeance and like watch his mom die and stuff like.
What if Kenjaku was the mom? Maybe that was his original body, and he just like
He's
went
just
through this whole
everybody's
thing.
mom. He just takes all the back shots from every character ever. Like,
I guess I don't know, but like it would be cool. Like, what if at the end, like Itadori's dad shows up, and you're like, "Whoa, he's not dead."
yeah, like,
And
yeah,
Kenjaku's like, "I loved him too much to kill him."
yeah.
And
Some
he
really.
shows up, and he's like looking good, and Itadori's dad's like, "What are you? Who are you?" And he's like, "I know that scar, but like I don't know this body. Like, who are you?" And
Yeah,
he's like the one that fights Sukuna. Like that would be kind of cool. There's
yeah.
just so many things that you could have done, like just really random things. Like Panda could have been a hero.
Mm. Yeah, and that's another thing. The whole like animated corpse thing, like Panda's whole like story, like that was a lot of stuff that was like it was really set up, like the principle and everything, and that didn't go anywhere. Panda got Panda was done so dirty because they were set up as such a great character in the beginning and kind of first season, you know, second season, and then they fought the Thunder dickhead and like showed off the third soul, the sister, and it was like a really cool thing. And then he just got wrecked, which
He
made
like
sense.
died, and I was like, "What?"
Yeah, like it made. And then from then on, it's just they're just little baby panda, and they don't do anything. Like that didn't go anywhere. And that's, I think, like he's very good at deconstructing, like, and subverting our expectations in a way that, like, if you had a good ending, you could have like been like, yes, I'm a mastermind. I tricked you all, but like it sucked, and so you can't say that. Like,
What if when Gege dies, like on his deathbed, on their deathbed, because we don't know if it's a man or a woman,
yeah,
what if they're laying there and they're like, call the newspapers, and they're like, Grandpa, why? And they're like, no, just call the newspapers. The news reporters come in and is like, I would like to show my evidence that I am actually Gege, like Akutama or whatever. I'm the one that wrote Jujutsu Kaisen, and
yeah,
I understand everyone's really mad, especially in the States. Like
yeah.
everyone's pissed. People have been crying for years, thousands of years. People have been crying because they miss Gojo, and it's only been like 10 years since I've died
Yeah,
or
yeah.
what. And he's like, I want to tell you all. And he like holds up like a box, and he's like, in this box is the actual ending that makes sense. And it's like, it leads to a sequel and all this stuff. It's like a novel. He wrote it all out so it'd like be there. And then he just lights it on fire. He's like, fuck you guys.
Oh
I'm
no.
dying. He's like, I'm gonna take it with me. I can see someone doing that. I feel like I would pull that move, like if I was like on my deathbed. I would be like,
oh man, the level of respect I would have for that man. I would hate it. I would hate it forever.
Like you just sit there, like it'd be on the news, and you just have to sit back and you're like, God damn it.
That was baller.
We knew it couldn't have been fucked up. Like we knew it could have been better.
He did it on purpose. You know, just knowing that he was aware, like as far as we know, realistically, is that this is his ending. This is the ending he wanted. This was all like, he's like, yeah, this is what I'm saying to the publisher. This is the ending. And so like to then know that he's like, no, he is fucking with us, that alone would make things a lot better. It would suck. I'd be angry. But
how did
then
it even get to like printed? Because he has to turn it into like his agent before it goes in.
Yeah.
And they give like things like,
feedback,
how could that agent be like, yeah, that's good, like that's a great ending? How could they say that?
Yeah.
And
I
then
don't
it's
know.
like, I don't know, it's Attack on Titan got a lot of shit for its ending, and in the anime they did change it slightly. They changed Armin's dialogue, which I feel like saved it.
Yeah.
It was perfect. It like I'm good. I thought it was great. I like that the manga gave a little extra detail, like
Yeah.
Makima, like Makima,
Yeah.
like literally like ends up with John and
Mm.
Aaron's a fucking bird. Like that's great.
Yeah.
And then Hunter x Hunter, he like did tell like the news station or whatever. He wrote into them. He's like, there's 5 different endings.
Yeah, he did his.
For whatever happens to me.
Yeah, if I
He's
die,
like,
this is gonna be the ending.
yeah, and he's
Which,
like,
like,
I have it planned out.
I don't
So
know.
it's like,
Do
1, 2,
you
3, 4,
read
5.
the Hunter x Hunter manga? Like, are you caught up on the manga?
No,
currently?
I need to. I
mean, I
want to know
can't.
what happens. I know they go to the dark planet or like the dark
Dark
world.
Continent.
And that's it.
Well, like
That they dark continent, yeah.
so
And
not
like
even
either they're
like
dead or
it's
they're
like,
alive.
it is. So, but like Gon's not in the story anymore, like at all. He's not. He. I don't know if you know how like where you ended that, but he's not. Him and Kilo aren't in the story. Like, if you want like a quick and dirty summary, it was just like, the whole
Wait.
world. Oh yeah.
Let's talk about that after this, because like
No.
we're gonna get really into that. And now I'm gonna read it like crazy.
Yeah.
And I want to kick myself for like not getting the manga sooner, but like,
Oh, it's good.
we're not talking about this. I have a couple of the volumes.
Okay.
We're gonna have to do like a Hunter x Hunter episode because like that shit fucked me up.
It's like it's probably when people ask me like, what if you had to pick like a manga that's your favorite manga? What is? I always say Hunter x Hunter. It's
Everyone
like that.
says that. It's really good.
It's so good.
It's really, really good.
But it's cursed. Like,
yeah, it's cursed. To know it is to be cursed for the rest of your life. But
I mean, there are new chapters coming out soon.
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
Oh, yeah.
Sure. Yeah, like not like he's in the hospital again.
No, he actually, like, because he has. I won't go too into it, but like he made a Twitter. He has like an official Twitter. He made like a year or two ago, and he's actually been posting updates. Like he actually has officially new chapters coming out, like on the 6th.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yes, I heard it's either the 6th or the 7th of October.
Yeah.
So watch me get caught up in like a week. I'll be like, all right, I'm ready.
It's good, but it's so convoluted. Like I said, if you want to do a whole separate podcast just talking about Hunter x Hunter, I can do that all day. I love Hunter x Hunter. It's so good.
Let me just read it to catch up. I know how the anime goes, and I know how like my soul hurts from it. But that's going to be after this. We're going to talk about it. But for JJK to wrap up our podcast episode, what are your final thoughts overall of the JJK series?
It's kind of like I think I've used a metaphor before of like, the whole, like the beginning throughout most of it, it was so good. All the like masterwork writing, storytelling. I think the world's incredible. I think that like so much can be like born from it. It probably inspired a lot of people. Like I'm sure like inadvertently we're gonna get a ton of other mangakais are gonna be born, like have new stories born from the inspiration they got from Jujutsu Kaisen, and like overall it's gonna be really good. And it just sucks it didn't stick the landing. I'm still holding out hope that like maybe there's something we're missing. Gege knows something we don't. Like there's gonna be more. Like it's gonna be analyzed forever. Like this could go down as like a legendary like failure of some sort. I don't know what you want to call it.
It'll be taught in classes.
Yeah, it'll be taught in classes. Of like this is what not to do in storytelling. Like
they're like, what is the deeper meaning?
Yeah. Like and so there's like a Buddha level like masterclass inspiration that like people are gonna, but I don't know, maybe it's gonna be a cult classic in the sense that like we are angry because we're reading it now and it's like a big thing and it's like fresh and everything, but like as a controlled thing like a year or 2 or 3 from now, people reading it and be like, no, this makes sense, this is exactly I don't think so either. But I mean, I loved it. Like, there's so many characters that's gonna be like, gonna be my anime heart forever. That I'm gonna hold dear, and I'm gonna be talking about this series forever, and have all the merch and the shirts and everything. But like, it kind of sucks. It just really kind of took the wind out of this big amazing ending. We've had a lot of animes end in the last couple of years, that like big ones like My Hero and everything, and like this sucks that like one of my favorite mangas like just couldn't come up with a competent ending to wrap everything up when he's done so well like through the rest of the series.
It hurts for me because like I really loved it. Like I have a lot of like merch already. I actually got rid of a lot of figures recently because I was really tempted to just walk out of the fandom because I was like, this is stupid. Like I don't I don't like the battle. And you kind of have to ask the question because they're like, are you the strongest because you're Gojo,
Satoru
or are
Gojo.
you Gojo because you're the strongest? Is JJK good because of Gojo or like this
Right.
plot, or is that good because it's JJK?
Right. And I think a
Because
lot
like
of
that's now the
people.
question. But
Yeah.
if Gege like I don't know if I just want him to say like I'm fucking with you guys. Like
Yeah.
this is the only way they got me to publish. Like that I got them to publish this was because it's a joke. And like my spinoff is like I'm gonna do this,
Yeah.
or I'm gonna tell like I'm gonna do a short like standalone novel about like Toji's backstory because honestly that's really interesting. Like he made that heavenly pact
Yeah.
and he's so like okay him coming out of the water in season 2 was like he was high. Him and Gojo, like that's I'm doing I want to do a panel on that soon about Gojo and Toji like having that like I guess Jesus effect, their second life, and they get really high and they're like the most powerful they've ever been was in that moment.
Enlighten one moment. Yeah, no, that'd be really cool. I don't know. Let's just get all of our cosplay friends together. Each person will cosplay a different character, and we'll just create our own ending at a con. Everybody will like act out a different thing. We'll make it something good, and like but I will say that I don't use the term breaks the internet very often, but like if he does like next week or the week after be like I'm just fucking with you guys and release like the real ending or something amazing, like that would break the internet. Like I could not imagine that if he does some sort of like switcheroo on us, that is I'm giving him way too much credit that he doesn't deserve yet, but that would be amazing. Like
I would leave work. I'd be like, I'm sorry, I have to go. I need to process this. I need to go read it. I cannot focus here. I need to go.
Yeah, so stay close to the Discords and the Twitters and see if he puts anything out in the next couple weeks. Maybe we'll get lucky.
Hopefully days. I like give me a birthday gift, buddy. Give me something on Thursday.
Oh yeah.
Give me it. Give me actual information that I'm
like
gonna,
on Thursday, like on your birthday, like
yeah. Like what if he does it like midnight Wednesday, like the leaks?
Yeah.
And then like on Thursday morning you wake up and you're like, this is great. I'm just like I want it to be a dream. Like let me wake up and like this never happened or something. But no, my friends wanted to do JJK for KomoriCon, and I'm like, well, let's do like something super weird. Let's do like the most insane cosplays you can come up with.
Yeah.
And I was like, my friend loves Gojo. I'm like, you should do the new fit for Gojo, but like, let's put a scar on your stomach and like show off your stomach.
Yeah.
And being like, I'm all good. And then we'll have like our other friend be Toji, being like, yeah, I brought a gun and I killed Sukuna. And then we'll have like a little plate and it's like a little blob and it's like an eyeball in it and it's Sukuna's like red yellow.
Oh, I like that. That's funny.
And then I was like, it would be cool. Like, I don't know. I just didn't know who I wanted to be because I like JJK. I just don't like, I want to do something fun with it. So I was like, oh, I'll be Maharaga.
Okay.
And they're just like, no, we, as the group, as the council, we decide no because you can't make that hot. They're like, you can't work hot and do it.
I mean, like, just like I've seen your Gear 5 Luffy. Like, I feel like you could pull that off. It's not, he's a big white, massive thing. I think
the wings on the face.
Yeah, the wings. The wings are adorable. Like you can make it work.
I want to make the thing that's behind him, and I'll just be like have a tie a knife to my like thing, and I'll be like. But I just like how every time like Megami is like having issues, he's just like he's like I'm gonna bring it out. Like I'm gonna kill myself, and I'm gonna win. Just to prove my point.
Yeah, that's actually one of our ongoing jokes at work. Is like every time somebody's having like a stressful day, it's like, "How are you doing?" They're just like, and that's like our sign that they're at their breaking point. That is one of my favorite memes. Is just him, just this little. Any inconvenience, I will kill myself.
I wish I didn't work with like old white guys because like the only like thing I can say when I'm at my limit is like I'm gonna walk off into traffic now.
Oh yeah, they understand that one.
Yeah, they're because like we're right there on a hill, and I'm like traffic's pretty slow right now. There's nobody out there. I can't find like my happiness. Yeah, but no. Thank you so much for joining. This was so much fun.
Yeah, that's what I had a blast. Thank you for having me on your podcast.
Yeah, thank you for like geeking out with me because like I don't really get to talk to somebody who has like the same knowledge as manga as I do.
Dude, literally anytime I feel exactly. You just stole the words right out of my mouth. I would anytime you want to geek out, I'm down.
I'll be like texting you. I'm like, hey, we need to like reconvene. Like, let's meet here for coffee. Like, let's talk about this because this is bullshit.
I'm so down because there's quite a few. I know you're wrapping up. Just there's so many new mangas. Kirabashi, like I think that's gonna like be the next. I might be saying it wrong, but that's gonna be like the next Jujutsu Kaisen.
You're talking about the guy with the swords?
Yeah, the guy with the
swords. Yeah, I love how like I liked all the jokes when that came out. They're like, man, everybody's copied him. Like, he's so good, and like it was such a good like joke that they actually like put it to be the number one
Yeah.
thing.
But like that aside, it is like the perfect storm for them. But that aside, I read it every week. It is legitimately a very good manga on its own. I highly recommend it.
No,
Right.
I've been reading it.
Okay.
I'm not caught up because
Okay.
when I like traveled, I like wasn't reading anything.
Mm-hmm.
So now I have like probably like 15, 20
I
chapters to read
gotcha.
of it now.
Yeah, it's really good. I'm enjoying it. I think because it's obviously gonna get an anime. Like I think it has
Oh, yeah.
a strong chance to replace Jujutsu Kaisen as far as like that level.
If he doesn't fuck it up, yeah.
If he doesn't fuck it up, I know.
Yeah.
Well, this is his first work too. Like I'm pretty sure.
Same with JJK. First
Yeah.
work. Let's see what happens. But thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah.
Where can people find you if they want to like talk to you more or like see what you're doing?
Or
oh
yeah,
you, I guess.
pretty much universally it just goes Omnicaster. That's my handle. I have an Instagram. I don't check very much. I don't have a Twitter, so you can go to, like, I don't know. You can scream into the void for that one. But yeah, Omnicaster or anything will bring up my socials. But yeah, anybody wants to talk about manga, anything, I read most of the main important big ones. I read a lot of niche ones. I watch a ton of very niche ones, and I have a bunch of like cult favorites that are like nobody's ever heard of that I will talk forever about. But yeah,
cool. That just means I'm going to bring you back on now when I need to talk about stuff that nobody else knows.
Exactly. Yeah. Anytime.
Perfect.
Let me know.
Perfect. Well, guys, this has been Devious Dumplings. I am Devious Queen Allie. You can find everything for both of those names on Twitter. Well, not me on Twitter. Like, I have one, but it's not under that name, and I don't want to say it because it's actually my name because I was stupid.
That's a lesson learned.
We have a TikTok. We have a YouTube. We have Spotify. Please follow us on Spotify. We really want to get to 100 because that'd be great. Same on YouTube because then I can monetize and make money.
Yeah.
So help me make money.
Yeah.
Do it.
We'll dethrone the Joe Rogan podcast. You'll get there.
Woo. Yeah, but thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hopefully there'll be intro music or outro music or whatever. I'll put like Lost in Paradise, but like not enough to get me like copyright.
Yeah.
All right, you hang on. Hold on a second.
Okay.
Now we're done.